So, hello everybody, welcome back. Yes, it's another one of these new reproduction lists or new videos, or in terms of a playlist or whatever you want to call it. So, yes, it's a new topic. Yes, I know. It's me, so bear with me. And anyway, grab your coffee or your tea, and if you wanted to share with me, you will add it. Links for that down below. And if you find this information helpful for your career or maybe your business idea or something like this, and then you ended up, making a little bit of money or something like that, you can also help me out by sending an Amazon gift card. And so I also have a lot of books in Gumroad, and I'm working on a lot of other things. So anyway, we are going to start with the first video of assessment. Now, to start with, I would like to tell you that I have a thing about making assessments because I talk to my friends all the time about their careers and what I will do if I were them or something like this based upon information, because I have a lot of knowledge in my head, but I don't have a lot of connections, and sometimes I have too much on my plate to work on a lot of things at the same time, even though that I have more than 600 projects in my computer. So having said that, then I recently got into sort of like an argument with a woman. And the reason being is that when I was talking to her about this idea or project that I'm working on, she was looking at me sort of like, yeah, I'm sorry, but that's just, I mean, I have never been treated like that, even though that I have traveled all over the world. And yeah, I mean, no. So serious to God. Then I'm looking at her like, yeah, sorry, but that was my experience, and I know that this was the norm, but yeah, whatever it used to work, and it was the norm, 30, 20 years ago, now it has been lost. And so, it's a shame, by the way. And so we were talking about this. You know how there are dermatologists that keep training hairdressers, as in people that you go into a salon and then they will do your hair. They will cut your hair, they will do your hair there, they will do your makeup and things like this. And the reason being is that when you have melanoma or cancer on the skin, it can start anywhere in your body. And usually it can start in the scalp, which is where you have your hair. And then people noticing these things is very hard. However, the person that is making your hair or cutting your hair or messing around with your hair, they can figure this one out kind of easy, because they can come in contact with hundreds of people every year, and they can tell them, hey, something is wrong with your skin and your scalp, and you might need to check it out because it can be skin cancer. So please, And so basically, you have a team that if you were to ask 200 years ago, what does a dermatologist has to do with people who make hair and things like this, and beauty salons and things like this? Well, that will be, like an outrageous idea. But it was implemented, okay? It is still implemented, okay? So, about 30 or 20 years ago, I was in a shoe store in a middle to upper class store area, and they were selling shoes. And the salesman in this store, by the way, it was famous all over, and people brought mostly their children to this store, okay? Not a lot of adults, but mostly the clientele were kind of kids, okay? The reason being is that they had the salesmen, where they're teaming up with orthopedicians, as in the doctors that have to do with your feet and how to fix your feet. And here's why. Because when you're going to go to an orthopedic treatment, you are very likely not going to have it when you're an adult because the bones are already formed and there is not a lot that you can do. However, when you are a child, your bone is growing and your feet is growing, and therefore, if it needs correction of any kind, you need to do it when you are a child. However, how many adults or parents know how to discern whether you have issues with your feet or not? I mean, honest to God, even there are elderly, and even if there are adults that are 70, 60, whatever years old and whatever, and they don't even know that there is something wrong with their feet, except that, oh, my feet hurt. And then you're like, yeah, I'm sorry, but you were supposed to have an orthopedician treatment when you were a child. So that when you grow up, your bone is not a problem for you, okay? So it's sort of like that. So the salesman, they were always asking parents to be present, because they will ask the kids to remove their shoes and then they will touch the feet of the child and tell them, hey, I think that you have a flat feet. You need to go to an orthopedician and here are some numbers that we have. And so basically, it was kind of like a thing so that the kids, I mean, it's a team in which you as a parent who are clueless about, I mean, for all I know, you're an adult and you're clueless about skin cancer, but your hairdresser is not, and therefore, it's like a thing. Your shoe salesman, they know whether your child needs or doesn't need orthopedician treatment, as in you need to go to a traumatologist and figure out what are you going to do about your feet, because if you don't treat it, then you will grow up and then the problem will not be able to be corrected unless you have surgery or some sort of other treatment, and then it will hurt more and it will be more difficult to do anything because you're an adult, okay? And so this was done, okay? I know because I was like, I think I was a teen when I went to this store, and of course, the salesman will ask whether they can touch you or not, because there is a lot of people that will go, oh, hell no, you're not touching my child. But there are other people that will go, So in this case, there was a salesman, and he asked whether he could touch my feet or not. And then he looked at my father, because my father was with me. And my father answered, that depends. If she says yes, then you can touch her. But of course, I was also with my three brothers, and my three brothers said, oh, hell no. I'm ticklish and whatever, and no. So it's not like you are going to force the child to be, touched or whatever, but I was okay. And they will also ask to remove your shoe and take the shoes into their hands. The reason being is that an experienced shoe salesman will know whether you have issues with your stepping process, as in you are stepping too hard, too low, too weird or too tippy or too heel thing or whatever it is, because of how the shoe is eaten, for not having a better word, but because basically your footstep is eating the shoe, and it is eating it unevenly and it's eating it weird and whatever it is, and therefore the shoe salesman will take a look at your shoes, on a lot of the parts, and they will tell you, hey, you have a problem with your foot because of this and this and that. And then they will tell you that you should go to an orthopedician, and then they will send you a lot of numbers so that you can have this thing. So that should be the norm when you walk into a shoe store. Because do you have any idea how much trouble you can save your kid when they grow older? Because they now can walk easy. They don't have pain. And at the same time, they corrected the problem without having a lot of issues. So serious to God, this should be like a thing. But I do not know what the hell happened, but now, that one was lost. And so I was talking to in the table with 4 or 5 people, and they were looking at me like I was an alien, like what the hell are you talking about? You actually being like in Japan or something? This is Venezuela. There is no way that was happening. And then I said, yeah, because the manager said, look, we cannot sell you shoes, because if I sell you a shoe and your kid has a problem, because they are eating the shoe, because, it's like you're supposed to walk like this, but then you are walking like this, like if you were a ballerina. And so your shoe will not stand your feet. And therefore your shoe, you're going to have to replace the shoe every 2 months. But that shoe on a regular basis should last you 1 year. And so and you're going to think that the quality of the shoe is associated with a problem, and the shoe is not the problem. And if I sell you the shoe, then you're going to think that somehow my store is selling shoes that are low quality, or they are counterfeited, or they are whatever, and I don't want to deal with that. If I'm going to sell you a shoe, I need to make sure that you are going to come back next year, because every single year when you need to replace your shoes, you will always come back to my store, because you will know that I care. However, if I had 100 clients and they all go kind of like, yeah, well, I have to come back in 2 months. Yeah, they can go to any store, and they don't care. And so, no, I don't want that. I want them to come back all the time. And I want them to refer me to all of their family members. Because if I get a client, how many times throughout your entire freaking life are you going to change shoes? And if you need 40 types of shoes because you're a woman, then where are you going to buy them? Me! You're going to buy it here. Why? Well, because it was the store that told you that you had a problem, and then when you have your own kids, you want somebody to tell you, hey, there is a problem, and you want somebody to be honest with you, and you want somebody that cares. And therefore, I'm the manager, and I'm doing that, and I'm training everybody, and I had a couple of orthopedicians that are working with me. I have no idea, by the way. After that, I have no idea about anything. By the way, they didn't tell me that I needed any kind of orthopedician thing or whatever, because I was already a teen. But they did tell me, that I had like a weird stepping thing. And then I said, yeah, we are working on it. But the point is, they will tell you about these things. It's extremely important. In Europe and in Japan, I don't know in other countries because I do not know. But I do know that in Europe and in Japan, shoes are made by families that have a tradition and things like this, because your shoe is extremely important, and it's also very expensive, because like I said, how many times throughout your entire life are you going to change shoes? Let's say that you change shoes once a year and you are 90. That means that per person you have 90 pairs of shoes. 90 pairs of shoes per person. And we are 6 billion people. Okay, let's say 7 billion people. So 7 billion people times 90. That is a lot of shoes. And that is a product that will never, you will never have enough, because everybody has different needs for shoes. And it's not like you only need 1 pair per year. That's just not it. You're probably going to need 2 or 3. Why? Well, because there is a sport shoe. You're not going to go to a sport event, wearing high heels or something like this. And you're not going to go to a party that it is, with a cocktail and drinks and all of that, wearing sneakers or something like this. You could, but you're not going to, because if you have a nice dress, you probably are going to wear high heels, right? So this is important. All of this is important. And this is one of the reasons why, being a shoe salesman makes a lot of money. And this is also one of the reasons why, having a shoe store can actually make you a lot of money. However, the competition is very hard, and you have to stand your ground, as in you have to differentiate yourself from other people. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, everybody goes kind of like, yeah, let's go with celebrities, let's go with this, let's go with brands, let's go with this. Yeah, that is just you selling the shoe. But then again, you're missing what that manager said. The manager said, we care about your feet. We care about your stepping process. And if you are thinking that just the shoe is kind of like, yeah, it's cool or whatever, it looks good. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's not even it. I'm sorry, that's not even it. And the reason why women want to have 40 pairs of shoes, and if they can, get 80, they will probably get 80, and if they can get 100, they will get 100 pairs of shoes. It's not because of the shoe per se, but it is because of the type of feet and the type of comfort that you want. See, the process of getting a shoe for men and a woman is entirely different, and so you want to differentiate what works. And the problem is that with women, I'm going to be honest here, out of 5 women that wear bras, as in, a bra is extremely important because, you wear it every day, and on top of that, it's supposed to hold your breast. And oh God, it's one of those things that the guys might look at, and so it is extremely important, right? And guess what? Well, it is estimated that 2/3 to maybe even 4 out of 5 women wear the wrong size and the wrong cup of bras. And so, can you imagine that? Serious to God, honest to God, it's something so important, and yet you get it wrong, and you're feeling it every single day. So that is how bad the shoe industry is, because you are wearing the wrong type of shoe. I do not have statistics, but if women are wearing, like that, 2/3 with the wrong bra, I'm guessing that with the shoe, it's probably going to go higher. Because if you're a man, you also probably don't even know what type of feet you have. Which brings me to the next part that I would like you to try. By the way, like I said, that strategy exists, or at least existed. I have no idea why it doesn't exist anymore, but it should exist, and it should be the norm. And next, I'm going to tell you my idea, my own thing, okay? And yes, it doesn't exist anymore. Oh, yes, big deal. Oh, come on. I keep imagining that I live in Jupiter, and I'm trying to come up with the Jupiterian way of doing things, so bear with me, okay? And it's not my fault, okay? Just think that I don't know, that this is like an alien thing, and so you're going to try an alien thing, okay? And here it is. So, if I was somebody that wants to get a promotion to a supervisor or something like this in a shoe store because I'm selling the shoe, I will get 5 posters. 5 posters. And somehow we'll print them with the name of the store and maybe, I don't know, a logo, whatever it is, I don't care. What you put in the freaking poster in the outside or whatever it is. But the information in the poster is going to be the following. The first one is going to be, what is your foot type? And then you are like, okay, serious to God, please stop 200 people on the street and ask them what is their foot type. And I can guarantee you that at least 70 to 80, for all I know, 90% of them will tell you that they have no clue what type of foot they have. And then you're like, yeah, what does that have to do with shoes? Well, let's see. So you have a foot type that does not match the shoe that you are trying to get. But you will get it because the shoe is cute, and then your feet is going to hurt like hell, or you're going to break the shoe, or you're going to step wrong because that shoe was designed for a different type of feet. Now, the foot type has nothing to do with your size. It can be 5.5 like me, it can be 6.5, 7.5, 8, 9, 11, 13, whatever it is, or the European size, or the UK size, or the US size, or whatever it is. I don't care. It's not about the length of your feet. It's about the type. The type is the points of your feet, as in the shape that your toes, when they are together, how are they? And so there are 5. So you have the German. By the way, you can look it up. By the way, if you're going to look at this one on Google, yeah, I haven't. I'm sorry, but there are very, very, very few, images or few knowledge of this thing. And and if you look it up, you gotta do like a research and take it apart and things like this, because almost nobody is making this right. So basically, you're going to Google this thing, and then you're going to be kind of like, what the hell? Yeah. So basically, there are 5: German, Greek, Celtic, Roman, and Egyptian. Now, this is something that the Japanese will actually get a hold of, because there is a lot of Japanese shoe websites that will tell you this shoe is specifically designed for the Egyptian type of feet, or the Greek type of feet, or the Roman type of feet, or the German type of feet, or the Celtic type of feet. The reason being, well, if you have a Celtic type of feet and then you're going to wear it like if you were an Egyptian, you're going to be in pain, because it's the wrong it's the wrong design. It's kind of like I don't know how to put it, but the point is, and by the way, if you have a Roman type of feet, you are going to be in desperation every single time that you try to wear shoes, because that is the most difficult foot, shoe to have commercially available, because most commercial shoes are going to be for the Egyptian and the Greek, and so you are going to have a lot of issues. Serious to God, you're going to have a lot of issues with that one. So when you're a salesman and you can point out, hey, that type of shoe does not work for your feet, you will be uncomfortable. If you have a Roman foot, I will recommend wearing this type of shoe. And then, you're kind of like, how the hell do I know whether I have Roman or Greek or whatever it is? And now that is where you will have, 2 things. You will have the tool that you can buy in Amazon, because that one is in Amazon. And you can measure your own feet. The whole thing will tell you how to measure your feet, blah, blah, blah. That one will tell you the size, but that's not going to tell you the type. And if you have an experienced salesman, that person is going to tell you, hey, look at the shape. You have an Egyptian, you have a Roman, you have a Greek thing, you have a Celtic one, you have the German one. And once you figure out what type of feet you have, you will say, oh, that's why all of the shoes that I have bought are bothering me in the smallest pinky finger thing, in my toe thing, or whatever it is, and that's why it's uncomfortable to wear these and wear that. Yeah, no wonder. And so it's important. That one is very, very important. The second poster should be how to read the freaking label that your shoes have. And then you're like, what? What do you mean? Yes, shoes have labels. Yeah. So here is where things get interesting. Like I said, most people don't even know how the hell to read the food label. And it is food, and it is something that you wear, that you eat, that you have to, be in contact with almost in a single day basis. And most people don't even know how to read the food label, let alone the shoe label. So rather than being specific about each model of the things that you're selling, you can say, hey, if you want to know more about the specifications for this type of shoe, read the label, and that in that poster you can figure this one out. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you have the first poster in your store and you start telling people what type of food do they have and things like this, you're going to start a trend all over, because this does not exist. And when people figure out, hey, if you want to know your own fit thing, whatever, just go to this store, there is a salesman that will tell you. And then you can figure this one out, and then we can even make comparisons and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're going to be in the center of the things, and then everybody's going to visit your store, and then everybody's going to wonder what kind of shoes do they buy and things like this, and therefore you are going to be the hit. You're going to be a hit immediately. And if you tell people, hey, if you want to know more about the specifications, like whatever it is, just read the labels. And this is how you read the labels. And then, if you have people that have never, even noticed, because people don't seem to even notice. I swear to God, there are people that do not notice that shoes have labels. And they are like, What the hell? Shoes have labels, okay? Serious to God, shoes have labels. And so, so this one is very, very, very important. The third poster, like I said, every single time that you put one poster in your store and you train the salesman on how to use it, everybody's going to be kind of like, oh my God, I learned about this in this store, blah, blah, blah. And so now you just became a hit. Now, the third poster should be about, sorry about that, it's an insect. Yeah. This third poster should be about, it's a freaking cockroach. But anyway, about the foot, the shoes parts. As in, whenever you go, and talk about anything, you are trying to describe the shoe, but people don't know the parts of the shoes. And therefore, especially if you have young people, they are kind of like, yeah, the part that touches the ground. And you're like, okay, you mean the sole or the part inside, or you mean what? That one, the pointy thing, or the other one. And then you go kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry, but what do you mean? Well, I don't want it to be this cut. And then you are like, what type of cut? What do you mean? Well, if somebody says something like, I'm having troubles with this type of shoe because I do not want it to be like this, or I want it to bend like this, or I want it to work like that, or I want it to be like this or that, like this or that, then you need specifications. And here's the deal. Do you honest to God want to embarrass the clients because they have no idea how to describe the things that they want? Do you have any idea how much frustration you can have in a person that is trying to communicate an idea but they don't know how? Have you ever seen a 5-year-old try to explain something and they don't know the words? And they get frustrated and they will do a tantrum because they have no idea what they are trying to say? But they know what they are saying, but they don't know how to translate them. So avoid that by just telling, people, hey, if you want to change something or describe something, you have a poster right there that tells you what the part of the shoe is, because then you can tell me what you don't like and then I can try to change it. Because if you tell me something like, I don't like the bottom, do you mean the thickness of the bottom thing? Do you mean the bottom part as in the inside, or do you mean, yeah? So it's better to just point them out and say, hey, which part? And then there is a name and things like this. And this way, the other person might be like, oh, you're so considerate. Yes, that part, and blah, blah, blah. And at this point, you're going to be, it's just basic education, but people don't have it. And when you don't have educated clients, the clients tend to be more aggressive, and they also have way more frustration, because it's like you have the money, but everybody might treat you like an idiot because you don't know how to describe things. But if somebody, is doing this for you, then yahoo! You just made a fortune right there. Just honest. And the reason being is that you are being very, very thoughtful of the people that honest to God, just want to describe to you, and also it will save you time. Because if you have a salesman that cannot understand what the client is saying, they are going to offer 50 choices to the client, and the client will be kind of like, yeah, you offered me 50 things and it's not what I want. Yeah, I'm leaving. And so you just lost the client, okay? Reason being, well, the salesman did not get it. And so you want to have a common ground, and the only common ground that people can have is when there are standards. And the only way for you to have standards is to have images of things. The reason being is that if you have it words or whatever it is, people might not get it. But if you have pictures, then people will understand, and people will be more willing to engage into a lot of things. So get the freaking posters. And which brings me to poster number 4. If you have a poster that says all of the names of the styles for shoes that are meant for men, then yeah. Because here's the deal. When men go to a store, they go kind of like, I like this shoe. That's it. It's comfy. I'm done. But if you have a woman that is going to buy the shoe for that man, yeah, I'm sorry, but that woman is going to be very picky. And that woman is going to be very likely like, I don't like this lace. I don't like this thing. I don't like that one. No, it has to be like this. Oh, and by the way, there are men that are like that, but let's go with women because we have a tendency to be way more demanding when we're buying things. And so if a woman is going to buy something, it has to be cute and it has to be affordable and it has to be like this and this and that. A man is kind of like, no, it's just comfortable. Yeah, pay it. That's it. I'm done. Yeah, kind of like that. So, it's more complicated to sell to a woman rather than sell it to a man. And so, when you have a poster that says, okay, there are four categories of shoes for men. There is elegant, casual, and then there is sports, and then there is, of course, the white sneaker. And there might be boots into a fifth category, but let's say that you have 4 or 5 categories, and they for each one you will have different names. By the way, the name of the shoes for men are mostly British names. They are like weird British names that I do not know how to pronounce. So just figure this one out. For this one, you have a lot of information in Google. However, you don't have a lot of information of type of boot for men and types of sport shoes for men and things like this. They are mostly two, which is, basic because men are very simple, okay? Men are kind of like, am I going to go out with this shoe? Yes or no? Then that's it. I'm getting this one for going out, this one for daily. That's it. But oh, come on. If you have a woman and that woman is trying to spoil you, then, for all I know, she's going to come home and say, hey, I got you this thing. And then you're like, what the hell is that? You don't even know. And then she said, you don't even know what your shoe type is? Oh, I got it because of this and that. And it's going to be like a topic of conversation and it's going to be cool. Because if a woman is going that far to try to please you, then how do you feel as a man? So, and if you help that woman get that accomplishment, yeah, I'm wondering how often is she going to come to your store? Just because she's going to associate you with success and things like this. So it's important, okay? These details are important because I know 99% of the time you could care less about what the hell is the name of your shoe. For all I know, you don't even care about what brand it is. However, it's important because the devil is in the details kind of thing. And so the feast poster should be the same, but it should be about women. Now, women have over 20 something categories, and there was one woman, I think it was a woman, I do not know, but there was one person that was studying shoe design and came up with 57. So the poster, by the way, if you look for this in Google, you might not find a lot, okay? But you will find, somewhat to at least 20 types of shoes, okay? So if you have the poster with the shoe name for this thing, if you are a salesman, you can go kind of like, hey, what style do you want? Do you want it Roman? Do you want stilettos? Do you want boots? Do you want ballerina? Do you want alpargatas? Do you want this? Do you want that? And you can point them out. And that woman is going to be kind of like, oh, that one. And you just save time. You save time, and that woman is not going to be frustrated because you didn't get what type of thing she was imagining. Okay? So basically you are saving time and you are pleasing everybody just because you have a poster. Kind of like that. And you can also have a 6th one in which you are explaining the shoe type for the kids. Kids, they also have shoe types, by the way. And so, it's important. Shoes for girls and shoes for boys. Kind of like that. And it is very, very, very important that you also offer something like, hey, will you mind if we're going to take a look at the bottom of your shoe and show you whether you have an issue with your thing? Maybe you need to go to a traumatologist to fix this problem before it gets worse. And you don't even have to touch anybody else's feet. All you have to do is evaluate the bottom part of the shoe. And you can also offer a business card with other people's information about whether or not they can repair your shoe and they can do maintenance to your shoe. Meaning, okay, I'll sold you the shoe, but if you wanted to repair them or if you wanted to change something like make them waterproof or whatever it is, you can ask these 4 people, having like different business cards, and you can call them and you can have a 10% discount or whatever it is, and you can also make like a partnership with them. That way, when people say, I like this shoe very much, but it is size 5 and I need it 5.5, there are machines that will help you, lengthen, as in make your shoe a little bit bigger through a pressing process. And you can, reference your clients to this person so that they can, pay $5 or $10 more, and your shoe that is size 5 can go to the 5.5 size. Then that is because this person has this machine. It's not that expensive either, and it's doable. And you can also have the opposite. Like it is 5.5 and you're 5, you can sell them the thing that you put inside the shoe, and that way your shoe will be, your feet will not dance inside the shoe because it is going to be steady. With this little, and they are, usually they sell it at Walmart, and it's called Dr. Food or Food Care or whatever brand it is. It's not that expensive either. And so you can make it happen, and you can, sell it right there. And you can also sell in the store, like I told you, things that are for repairing your shoes. So, for example, shoe glue, or the repairing tools for your shoes, or different types of laces. And for all I know, you can even sell laminated info sheets about how to tie your shoes differently, different types of shoelacing thing. And you can have that laminated and then sell it, because people like the idea of trying something new, but they like the idea of you caring. If you care, you are on top of 1,000 people. Because when you go to a store, everybody's kind of like a robot. They are like, okay, I like the shoe, it's my size, I'm done. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I want to have like a human contact. I want to have somebody actually, taking a look at my shoe and saying, hey, that is the wrong type of shoe because you have a Roman type of feet, or because you have a Greek type of feet, or because you have a this type of feet. So that one is going to hurt you. It's better to have this size and blah, blah, blah. That means that you actually care. If you care and you're helping me out, and especially, like I said, especially if you're helping my kids, it's going to be a family tradition. And every single person will go, it's a family thing, so we're going. And so, I guess that's it. Just try it. Like I said, a lot of this information is not even on Google. It's just not. Reason being, it's a charm school thing. It's a foundational type of thing. I mean, like I said, 40 years ago, everybody knew if you wanted to take a look at your shoe, the way that your grandmother teach people about the shoe was kind of like, open the tongue of the shoe. Don't bother with the tip. Don't, the sole is this part, and this is a shoelace. This is whatever it is, and then you will even have a shoe thing to put your shoe easier. I mean, for all I know, you should sell all of those into a shoe store, because every single time that you're putting your shoe, you're hurting your fingers. So if you have the device for putting on your shoes, especially boots, and the ones that, with people that cannot even bend to put on their shoes, you want to sell that thing that is, I think is 1 feet or 2 feet long. And that way you can put on your shoe, even without bending, from your hand being in your being just at your hip level. And you can put your shoe on with that device. So, and it's cheap, and it is not that difficult to make. And it is also, a good place to name your brand or to put your publicity on. So for example, you can say something like, if you buy 5 pairs of shoe, we are going to give you the shoe feeder thing. I don't know the name in English, but I do know that they're selling in Amazon, by the way. But I do not know how to look for it in English. So anyway, having said all of that, then thank you for listening and thank you for staying tuned. See you again soon.